What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Realms of Metal. Eddie here, back with you from my metal room, my happy place here in the woods in PA. We're chilling. It's a Saturday afternoon. We're listening to some records, hanging out with the cats. And I've been working on this for a little bit. We've done 3 videos, thrash metal perfection videos, 15 perfect or damn near perfect thrash metal records to start your collection with. I got a part 4. This is going to be the last one. So after this, you're going to have 64 because you got 15 and a bonus on each one. We always throw in a bonus here on the Realms of Metal. You're going to have 64 perfect or damn near perfect thrash metal records to start your collection with. And this has been like a labor of love for me. Thrash metal was my first love as a kid. When I first heard Injustice for All way back in 1988. And, I love all these records. I wish I could squeeze more onto these lists because there's a lot more albums that I love than the ones that I've included here. But like I said, all good things come to an end. This is going to be the last one. Some of the ones that I didn't include on part 4 that almost made it, I wanted to just throw them out there. I've got Coroner's No More Color. Great fucking record, man. Underrated band, Coroner, man. Razor's Shotgun Justice almost made it. Onslaught's In Search of Sanity almost made it. Creator's Extreme Aggression. Annihilator's Never Neverland. Dark Angels Darkness Descends. Great record. Didn't make it on my list. Don't get upset because Darkness Descends wasn't on any of these videos. It's a great record. This is all subjective, man, right? I tried to include stuff that people had to know about, like the roots of thrash metal and my favorite stuff, intertwined and all that. So, like I said, it's all subjective. Nobody's wrong. So, that said, before I get at it, thank you for everybody who's watching the videos, commenting, liking the videos. It makes this even that much more fun for me, engaging with everybody, talking about what you like, what you don't like, and, your favorite records and bands. And, this is a show by the fans for the fans. So just keep that in mind. I'm enjoying myself, and hopefully you guys are too. So that said, let's get at it. This part 4, I included a lot of the roots of the genre that haven't been on other videos that I believe should be on here. So, let's get at it. Let me know what you guys think. So in part 1, we did Injustice for All. In part 2, we did Ride the Lightning. In part 3, we did Master of Puppets. Part 4, you got to have Kill 'Em All, right? This is the record that it's the first thrash metal record, right? Started it all in 1983. Now, this record was supposed to be called Metal Up Your Ass, but it got rejected by the label, and then they went with Kill 'Em All because somewhere Cliff Burton said, referring to like the record executives, Kill 'Em All, and it stuck, and that's what they went with. But Metal Up Your Ass would have been so much cooler album title, right? Remember the shirt, the toilet with the sword popping up, Metal Up Your Ass? That would have been so much cooler than this, but this is what we got. And keep in mind that Mustaine wrote a lot of the stuff on this record. Like Four Horsemen, was originally called the Mechanics. When he got kicked out of the band, Metallica changed it to the Four Horsemen and changed the lyrics, but they kept the music, made it a longer song. Jump in the Fire was Mustaine's, Phantom Lord, Metal Militia. He wrote most of the solos on this record, from what I understand, if not all of them. I could be wrong about that. But, props to Mustaine, too, on this record, man. Because they used his music, and he didn't want them to, and he didn't like that. So, Metallica's Kill 'Em All, 1983. A must-have. So, let's go to 1986. This is this band's first appearance on the Thrash Metal Perfection videos, and I had to include a record from them. They're that important, and it's Destruction. I put Eternal Devastation. I like this one a little bit better than Infernal Overkill and Release from Agony when it comes to the old Destruction stuff from the 80s. Top to bottom, I just think this is the best record, and it's definitely a must-have. I mean, it's a great record. Destruction is from Germany. This was their second full length on Steam Hammer Records, 1986. Curse the Gods. I mean, how great is that? Confound Games, Life Without Sense, United by Hatred, Eternal Ban. Great record, man. I just got to show you this too. This was a reissue on High Roller Records. It's a beautiful vinyl, man. I just got to show you the vinyl on this. There, it's a double picture disc. Like really great stuff. Fucking beautiful vinyls, man. So if you can pick this version up. It's fucking awesome. Sounds great, beautifully done. Destruction, Eternal Devastation. Let's go to 1988. I had Oppressing the Masses on part one of this series, and we're going Eternal Nightmare in part four. Violence from San Francisco, California, their first full length on MCA. It's a legendary record. Look at that old picture, man. How great is that? Every song on here is good. You got it like a raw guitar tone. I love the guitar tone on this. I like Oppressing the Masses a little bit more than this one, but still, this is absolutely essential, man. It's a legendary thrash record. Eternal Nightmare, Serial Killer, Phobophobia. Calling in the Corner is probably my favorite off the record. Bodies on Bodies, Kill on Command. Violence, Eternal Nightmare, Kill it. Let's go to 1988. On part one we had Among the Living. On part two we had Persistence of Time. Part three, Spreading the Disease. Part four is getting State of Euphoria. Great Anthrax record. Anthrax from New York City. Their fourth full length on Mega Force / Island Records. This is another great one. I think this was my first Anthrax record too. So great songs on here. Be All End All, Out of Sight, Out of Mind, Make Me Laugh. Antisocial is the Trust cover, which they did the video for, which everybody knows. Who Cares Wins is a dark track on this one. Really good. Now It's Dark. I Can't See. Don't you fucking look at me. Schism. Misery Loves Company. Finally. Anthrax. State of Euphoria. Great record, man. Totally essential. Let's go to 1987. So on part one, we included The New Order. Part three was Practice What You Preach. Part four is Getting the Legacy. It was a toss up for me between The Legacy and Souls of Black. I mean, I like Souls of Black a lot too. Didn't make it. I opted to go for The Legacy instead. I just thought top to bottom, it was a little bit better of a record than Souls of Black, but Souls of Black is amazing too. But what a great debut, right? Testament. Over the Wall, The Haunting, Burnt Offerings, Raging Waters, Curse of the Legions of Death, First Strike is Deadly, Do or Die, Alone in the Dark, Apocalyptic City. Like every song on here is good. Absolutely essential. Testament, The Legacy, which was their name before they changed to The Testament. They were called The Legacy. Or just Legacy. Let's go to 1986. Flotsam and Jetsam, their first appearance on this series. When I was looking at the old Flotsam and Jetsam stuff, I like this one a little better than No Place for Disgrace. My first Flotsam album was When the Storm Comes Down, and I like that one a lot too. Top to bottom, though, I just didn't think that compared to Doomsday. Suffer the Masses, which is on When the Storm Comes Down, is to me the greatest song Flotsam ever wrote. Love that track. It's absolutely fucking killer. But for this video, I'm going with Doomsday for the Deceiver. This was the only record that Newsted did with Flotsam and Jetsam before he bolted for Metallica. Hammerhead, Iron Tears, Desecrator, Fade to Black, title track, Metal Shock, Flotzilla. Absolutely essential. This was their first release on Metal Blade Records. Flotsam and Jetsam from Phoenix, Arizona. Great stuff, man. Let's go to 1985. Like father, like son, the Bible read. 3/6's brand, the top of his head. Overkill's Feel the Fire. Now, we included Under the Influence on part one, Years of Decay on part two, Taking Over on part three, and I'm going with Feel the Fire over Horoscope for part four. Horoscope is a great record, don't get me wrong. When it comes to essentials for thrash metal, I'm giving them Feel the Fire over Horoscope any day of the week. Uh, fuck. Raise the Dead. Signature track for Overkill, Rotten to the Core, right? There's No Tomorrow, Second Son, Hammerhead, Feel the Fire, Blood and Iron, Kill at Command, Overkill. Absolutely essential. Now, the original title for this was not Feel the Fire. It was called First Blood. And somehow it got changed to Feel the Fire. Don't know why. But absolutely essential. Overkill's Feel the Fire. Their first release on Megaforce, 1985. Pick it up. Probably got it already. It's all good. Let's go to 1990. This band's first appearance on this series. Amazing record. Had to include it. Artillery's By Inheritance. This was their third full length on RC Records. Artillery is from Denmark. Great record. This was my first Artillery record as a kid. And shit. Every song is good on this record, man. Like 7 minutes from Tashkent, Comaniac, Beneath the Clay, 6 feet beneath the clay, R.I.P. By Inheritance, Bomb Food, Don't Believe, Life in Bondage. Man, Artillery's By Inheritance. So good. Underrated record, in my opinion, too. More people should know about this band. Pick it up. Let's go to 1983. More of the roots of thrash metal. We've got Slayer's Show No Mercy. First full length on Metal Blade. What else can be said? I mean, this is a record I had to include in this series. Evil Has No Boundaries, The Antichrist, Die by the Sword, Fight Till Death, Metal Storm, Face the Slayer, Black Magic, Tormentor, Final Command, Cryonics, Show No Mercy. I think Show No Mercy is an underrated track. It's got like such like a punk feel to it. I love that track. Might be my favorite track on the record, believe it or not. Over the Antichrist, over Die by the Sword, over Black Magic, and that speaks a lot. But Slayer, Show No Mercy. Now we had part one, we had Rain and Blood. Part two, we had South of Heaven. Part three, Seasons in the Abyss. Show No Mercy is going on part four. Let's go to 1988. On the first video of this, we had Handle with Care. This one I'm including Survive. This is Nuclear Assault from New York City, their second full length on IRS Records. This is another great one, man. I had a hard time whether to include this or Game Over, and I opted for this. I like this one a little bit better than Game Over, but Game Over is arguably should be on one of these videos too. It's another great record. Rise from the Ashes, Brainwashed, F Number, Survive, Fight to Be Free. Good Times, Bad Times. I did the Zeppelin cover on here. Great record, fun record. Production is great on it. Sounds great. Nuclear Assaults, Survive. Pick it up. Let's go to 1987. On part one, we had Thrash Zone. I made my decision. Don't want your religion. DRI's crossover, man. So looking at the old DRI stuff, like I said, we put Thrash Zone on part one. I was looking at this. I was looking at Four of a Kind. I was looking at Dealing with It. I went with crossover. This is probably my second favorite DRI record. 5-Year Plan. How much better does it get than that? Tear It Down, The Coffin, Probation, Red Line, No Religion. Really good stuff. DRI's crossover, absolutely essential. 12th up on the list, a band who has not been on the series before. They only got 2 full lengths, but I talked about this record a couple of videos ago when I was talking about gems in my collection. And I got to go with Morbid Saints, Spectrum of Death on this one. This came out in 1990. This was their first full length. They are from Sheboygan, Wisconsin. And the more I listen to this record, the more I think it's a thrash metal classic. Like, the guitars and the drums just blow you away on this record when you listen to it. The vocals are like off the hook. It's just filled with fucking raw attitude, man. I love the vocals, the guitar tone, the drums are so aggressive, the way they sound on this record. Morbid Saints, Spectrum of Death, Lock Up Your Children, Burned at the Stake, Assassin, Damien, Crying for Death. I mean, Beyond the Gates of Hell, top to bottom, this record fucking kills. So if you're not familiar with them, pick this up. You're totally gonna dig it. You're gonna love it. I'm telling you. Morbid Saint, Spectrum of Death. 13th up, we've got going back to one of the classics. Megadeth, Killing Is My Business. Came out in 1985 on Combat, their first full length. We had Peace Cells on part 1, Rust in Peace on part 2, So Far So Good So What on part 3. We're going with Killing Is My Business on part 4. Another record that's just filled with piss and vinegar. Mustaine was, had it going out to get his revenge on the band that fired him. And like, this record is just so aggressive and so raw and so fast. It was Last Rites, Love to Death, Killing Is My Business, Skull Beneath the Skin, the song about Vic Rattlehead. It's one of my favorite Megadeth songs ever. Rattlehead, Chosen Ones, Looking Down the Cross, Mechanics. Oddly enough, this version does not include These Boots, but on the CD version, These Boots is on there. It's a Nancy Sinatra cover, so but not on this version anyway. Megadeth, Killing Is My Business. Amazing stuff. Let's go to 1987. On part 2, we included Victims of Deception. On part 4, we're going Breaking the Silence. Heathen from San Francisco, California. This was their first release on Combat Records. I love this record so much. I love Victims of Deception a little bit more, but this one's no joke either. It's a great fucking record. Death by Hanging, Goblin's Blade, Super Killer, Open the Grave, Pray for Death, Breaking the Silence, World's End, Save the Skull. Man, the CD also has the Pray for Death demo on it from 1986. But Heathen, Breaking the Silence, if you don't have it, pick it up, man. This is another essential record in my book. 15th record, and then the bonus. We're going to Lancashire, England. On part 1, we had Shattered Existence. On part 4, you're getting For Whose Advantage, Zentrix, their second full length on Road Racer. I'm a huge Zentrix fan, always was from the beginning. Like, Shattered Existence is one of those cassettes I bought when I was a kid, based on the album cover, and it's just a band that stuck with me ever since. And I've always been a big fan. And to me, like, they were like the Metallica of England, pretty much. They had that kind of vibe to them, the way the songs were, the way they sounded. But great record, man. Questions, For Whose Advantage, The Human Condition, False Ideals, Bitter End, New Beginnings, Desperate Remedies, Kept in the Dark is a really good one. So Zentrix, For Whose Advantage, essential in my book. Pick this baby up. And a bonus, and last but not least, we can't do a video without including the Mighty Exodus, right? My favorite band in the world. Now, on part 1, we did Bonded by Blood. Part 2, we did Impact is Imminent. Part 3, Fabulous Disaster. And part 4 is not getting Pleasures of the Flesh, although that really deserves to be on here. I actually opted for the only modern record on this list, and that's 2004's Tempo of the Damned. This was their 6th full length on Nuclear Blast, of course. Exodus, the mighty Exodus from San Francisco, California, Bay Area Thrash. Man, how great is Temple of the Damned, man? Like Scar Spangled Banner, War is My Shepherd, Blacklist. Blacklist is a staple of the live set, right? It's such a fun song to hear live. Like I love hearing that song every time I see them play. It never gets old. Gets the crowd going. It's just love that one. Shroud of Urine, Forward March, Culling the Herd, super underrated. Sealed with a Fist, super underrated. Throwing Down. Throwing Down was one of the tracks, was one of the names that Ant and I were going back and forth with and naming the channel when we started our channel. Like we had a bunch of names out there, and I thought of Throwing Down. I was looking at like song titles and stuff. I actually like Throwing Down for the title of this channel instead of Realms of Metal, but we opted for Realms of Metal. I let Ant pick, really. Like I left it up to him, so we went with that. But the name of this channel is almost called Throwing Down with Ant and Eddie, so pretty cool. Now, Impaler is on this record. Impaler was an old Exodus song that they wrote way back in the day with Kirk Hammett. In fact, I think it was Kirk Hammett's riff, and when he went to Metallica, he took that riff and he used it on Trapped Under Ice. So Ride the Lightning was 84, right? So Bonded by Blood was 85. Exodus opted not to include that song because the riff had already been used in Ride the Lightning on Trapped Under Ice. So, I mean, I totally get that, but it's a cool song to have all these years later, in 2004. And this record was dedicated to Paul Bailoff, who passed away a couple years early in 2002. So, absolutely essential. Exodus, Temple of the Damned. So there you have it. Part 4 is in the books. You got 15 more perfect or damn near perfect thrash metal records to start your collection. So all in all, and a bonus. So all in all, you got 64 records. That's plenty of shit to get you going. And like I said, I could throw like another, 30 records. I could do two or three more videos on this. That's how many good thrash metal records there are. But I think this is all everybody needs for now. And like I said, it was a lot of fun. It was a labor of love going through these records. Most of these are from when I was a kid, just getting into thrash metal, becoming a metalhead. So they have a lot of sentimental value for me. I love talking about them. So hey, thank you all for watching the videos, for commenting, for liking the videos. Keep the comments coming. We love engaging with you. We'll respond to everybody. And like I said, this is all subjective, right? Nobody's wrong. It's based on what everybody likes, so there's no right or wrong answer. It's just kind of like how you feel about it. And throw some comments down. What would you have included that I didn't include here? Taking all the other videos in consideration. Let me know what you think. And thanks again. Appreciate all you guys. Have a good rest of the weekend, and we'll see you guys again real soon.